Hi, welcome to Big Easiest Ways to Wellness. This is the host, Dr. Holly MacKenna. I'm here on my own today. I wanted to say happy holidays to everyone. I know that we haven't seen each other in a while, and I've been thinking about y'all and about what kind of information would be helpful right now. I know there's been so much going on, and it's been quite overwhelming. So information is power. And I wanted to share what I know about the new vaccines that have come out for this pandemic that has been throwing us all for a loop for like way too long, right? So as some of you know, because you've seen on my lives on Facebook, I have gotten the first shot from the Pfizer vaccine. So there are two vaccines. Let's start there. Both are what are called mRNA-based vaccines. They're very similar. One is from Pfizer. They just happen to be the folks that got theirs approved first. They require their vaccine to be kept, I want to say it's like minus 70 degrees, very cold, extremely cold, special refrigeration needed. So really that vaccine was rolled out initially, and not surprisingly, mainly rolled out to hospitals and big health organizations because they had the structure and what was needed to support this type of vaccine, right? And to keep it from going bad, and you can only open it so many times during the day and what have you. So that's initially come out. And you have probably seen on the news, Dr. Fauci, heads of the Louisiana Department of Health, heads of hospital organizations, nurses, frontline staff getting their vaccines. Awesome. So that is one. The other one is the Moderna vaccine, which may be one that more folks have access to because that vaccine doesn't require the type of refrigeration that the Pfizer vaccine requires. It's still an mRNA type vaccine. They're very similar, but because it doesn't require that really like negative 70 or whatever it is type refrigeration, it's going to be easier to transport out to communities, right? So like your community-based health center, your CVS, your pharmacies. The pharmacies are getting some special like packets to carry refrigerated Pfizer vaccine, but those who are storing things like Moderna is just going to be an easier way to go, right? So honestly, you know, I've seen all the discussions. I'm on a lot of COVID-19 frontline physician groups on social media, and nobody is saying you got to get one over the other. They're very similar. It's just a matter of whichever one you can get. I mean, you can't cross, you know, like I've gotten the Pfizer one now. I can't get my second one to be a Moderna and just like get the best of both. No, you stay with one. And they track that. The CDC is doing a great job tracking that. And so that's, you know, kind of the basics. So when I talk about mRNA, you know, that can sound kind of scary for folks who aren't like myself and nerds who, you know, went to undergrad and did like cell bio major because I'm a total nerd. So like I hear mRNA, I'm like, cool, that's about proteins. But, you know, like your average Joe, like you guys, there's no reason you should know this. So let me just like kind of try to give you an overview of what that is. So mRNA is what in your regular average cell, you have DNA, that's our genetic makeup. It's double stranded, that's what the D is for. And basically your body uses that genetic information to make different types of proteins, which then do different jobs within your cell or within your body. Some of those will become transporters that help your body see things like the serotonin or norepinephrine or all the things that I work with you on if you're having difficulties with mood or anxiety. All those things are made by your genetic makeup using these kind of what we call like kind of transcribers, these mRNAs. So basically you take that DNA, your body makes a copy of one of the strands. And I mean, I'm really simplifying it. So if you're a cell person, like, you know, and then you make this little like piece of information that we call a messenger RNA. So that then goes from your nucleus, which is the part of your cell, like the brain of your cell, where that DNA is housed. It leaves it. It doesn't, you know, and then it doesn't go back in. So it leaves that and goes into the outside part of your cell called the cytoplasm. And then these little proteins, ribosomes, go in and use that information to make proteins. So basically, this particular vaccine or vaccines are using what the body's already doing and then skipping some steps to really help create an immune response. Now, again, they're both similar vaccines using this mRNA type of information. So what happens is this mRNA, they've been working on it for decades. They've been really trying to use what we know about cell bio for a long time. I mean, I graduated undergrad in like 95. And that's when I learned this stuff. So that's how long we've known this. We've known it for longer than that, but that's, and they've been studying it all along. So they use this information. They're like, hey, this is a great way to make a vaccine. Why don't we create an mRNA that then goes into the cell, doesn't even mess with your DNA, doesn't go in the nucleus, doesn't do anything with that, but just goes straight to the step where you're creating proteins. And so then the protein that this particular mRNA creates is like the spike protein that is on the virus, this COVID-19 virus that we're dealing with, right? So, I mean, they had all the technology there. All they had to do is plug in the sequencing for the particular protein that our body would respond to. So this is, I mean, it's brilliant, really, in the simplicity. So when people are concerned about, hey, it took not so long to make this, like, they had to have skipped some steps, like, hello, like they probably cheated like I used to in cell bio, what have you. I totally didn't cheat. But if you were a cheater, that's not what they did. They already had this information. They already had the technology. They'd already been working on what's the best way to get this mRNA into the cell. And so they cover it with like basically some fats and make it so it's really easy to get into your, like when it gets injected into your arm, like into the lymphocytes, into the cells within your body that are going to then take that little bit of information, make a protein that looks like the spike protein on the COVID vaccine, and then present that to the cells around them. So then the cells around them are gonna be like, WTF, this thing doesn't belong here. We need to start making some immunity to this and make a big response to this because we want this stuff out of here. And that basically, I'm really simplifying it, goes and makes your immune response. So I mean, it's super cool, guys. So this, again, it doesn't go near your DNA. It's not going to change you into a cyborg. It's not going to give you special powers, all the things that people are worried about. It's not going to make you sick. There's no virus in it. That's, folks have had experiences with things like the flu vaccine or different vaccines that have like a deadened virus in them. And, that causes a lot of anxiety, like, hey, I don't want to get COVID from the vaccine. No. It doesn't have the virus in it. So it's not going to give you COVID. Like, there's no way to do that. It's just like biologically impossible. So awesome. So basically it will, again, skip your DNA, help you make the protein that you need to make an immune response. And then your body will create that immune response. When you get the first shot, it's about 50% immunity is built. So I got my first shot for the Pfizer vaccine just under 3 weeks ago. I know that because tomorrow I get my second shot. And then when I get my second shot tomorrow, I won't immediately be like, woo, I'm 95%. It takes about a week later. And then they're saying it's about 95% effective, 94, 95, depending on your vaccine. Same diff. So basically, it's not 100%. We are still learning about it in that, we've had all these trials, they've been super successful, but, as it's been said, like when you have millions of people suddenly using something, you're going to have like your zebras come up, but nothing that's been like super terrible. But we're still learning if it's going to keep me from, being a silent carrier, because like the rest of my family hasn't gotten it. So I'm still going to be wearing a mask. I'm still going to be washing my hands all the time and doing all the things. And we're going to all have to do that until we have enough people who are immunized. Like, that's just the way it is. This is part of a pandemic, unfortunately. So I wanted to touch base, kind of give you, again, my general outline of what you can expect or what it is as far as the biology behind it. And then I also wanted to touch on like what my experience has been. Again, I did some Facebook Lives, but I wanted to have something here through this platform so it's more easy for folks to find and look back on. So as I've said to you guys before, I have a history of autoimmunity. I developed issues with like joint pain, some protein in my urine, some kidney issues when I was in medical school. It really, I mean, I had to like take some time off and go back into training. So it really, has caused some issues for me along the way. Part of my journey into integrative medicine is that those types of treatments that I now provide to people are what help me live my best life and really not have many issues at all. Like I've had really like awesome labs and been doing really well. I also have asthma. I have adult onset asthma, which I, unbeknownst to me, was working in a mold-filled building post-Katrina and developed some asthma. So, I am hyper allergic. I mean, I love this place, New Orleans. It's never, the film of New Orleans has stuck to my outsides and it's entered my veins. I'm never leaving this place. I love it. But it's also like a swamp, dude. So there's a lot of allergens. So I developed allergies. I mean, I was probably had some allergies before that, but growing up in North Carolina, they weren't as much of an issue. So, I get allergy shots. I've loved my allergist for years and years and years. So I go see him every week. So, I'm a person that did have some anxiety, I'll be frank, about the how I would do with the vaccines. I felt better once they let us look at the data and I was able to see that folks like myself had been used in the trials and did well. But I want folks who maybe are out there who are like me, who have medical problems, who have lung disease or autoimmunity or just uncertainty, to see like how I respond. So I went and got it on the 18th of December. As I reported then, like I'm very body aware because of meditation and just doing a lot of mind body practice. When I get shots, I'm very aware of like kind of feeling the shot go in. So I felt a little just kind of different, like something foreign is in my body. And they watch you for 15 minutes. Like you have to sit somewhere where they can see you. If you want to stay longer, you can. Like they're not policing you out the door. I think this is pretty regulated as far as like their protocol from the CDC. So I stayed a little longer, and just because I promised my mom I would, and if you have an Irish mother, you do what they tell you. And then I was able to, I did a live right away. I was talking. I had no coughing, no sneezing, no anything respiratory whatsoever. Never did, as far as that goes. Had a little bit in the first 24 hours of kind of just feeling a little off. Like you would feel if you knew you were coming down with something, which to me, remember the biology I talked to you about, like the whole point of this type of virus or type of vaccines, is to help your body make an immune response for the actual virus in case it enters your body. So that kind of feeling like you're coming down with something, that's your immune response. That's your body saying, dude, WTF, there's something foreign in here. We need to rally the troops and like get this out of here. And that takes what we call cytokines, like all these different types of chemicals within your body, creating that response. And when that response happens, it's what we call an inflammatory response. That naturally causes some inflammation throughout your body, and that kind of not feeling 100% in your brain is that inflammatory response, like at the blood-brain barrier at your brain, telling you like something's up. Again, supposed to happen when you get a virus. Like you want to feel something that it's doing something, right? Didn't last more than 24 hours. Like I was good. My arm was sore. They do it in your non-dominant arm for that reason. If you are like my husband and like you pitch with one arm, right, with it, whatever you want to, like whatever arm is more important to you in your livelihood, that you want to do it on the other arm. So keep that in mind if like you write with one hand, but you use the other hand for something else that's part of your livelihood. So you get it in that arm. I was advised I got a massage the next day because it was my birthday, and my massage therapist like gently massaged my arm, and he said that he tells folks when they're getting immunizations to just gently massage that area. I've been telling that to folks as I hear that they're getting the shot, just to kind of help it move past that area so you're not getting a lot of stiffness in that arm. I also did some Tai Chi that night, just some gentle movements. Just to kind of keep the arm moving so you don't get a lot of stiffness, because that might cause more pain the next day or the next couple of days than really you want. Again, nothing bad. It's just an immune response happening, and you're just trying to keep it from being like overly localized and like let it disperse a little more in your body so it doesn't hurt so much. I did have like some fatigue in that arm, I noticed, because I was like holding the phone when I was talking to you guys that day. And that's about it. Like it really, especially after getting the massage, like I started feeling pretty good within like a day or two. I really wasn't even thinking about it. I've occasionally had very brief headaches, like very brief. And it's hard for me to say if that's related to the shot or not, because as I've said, I'm hyperallergic. My allergist is moving office right now, so I'm a little off with my allergy regimen. It's, things have been blooming. It's also been like, holiday times. So I might have some reasons to like get a headache. So maybe, but I'm keeping track of that. I also did and I can post it. I'll post the link to it in the comments after I'm done talking. There is an app from the CDC that allows you to track, like it triggers you every day at first and then weekly after that to say like, hey, how are you doing? And it allows you to immediately put in anything that you think may be related to the vaccine that you're experiencing. Whether or not it is, they can figure that out, right? And I think that way they know, like if my headache does turn out to be something that's related and they get like 20,000 people with a headache, then they can say like, hey, headaches are something you might see. If it's not, and it's like 5 of us, they're like, well, maybe, but probably not. Right. So it just gives them like more information. So I think, I like to think of public health and public good. So I'm going to enter that information to help people out. That's part of why I'm giving this information to you. So I am doing that app. Like I said, it tells me when it's VSafe is the app, but I'll put the link down there for you guys. And it's straight from the CDC, goes straight to them. So you're interacting with the folks who are tracking this. You're giving that information to them, which is great. So I'll be getting shot number 2 tomorrow. I will probably post some lives then. And then next week, I'm going to come on at the same time, same bat channel to just give you kind of the weekly summary of how I did, anything that came up, any issues. If you guys have any questions about this, I can answer them then. I'm happy to do so. I think this stuff is super cool. Like I said, cell bio major. So like this totally geeks me out. I just have so much admiration for the folks who work to make this happen, and so much admiration for all the folks who have gotten shots so far, taking the plunge, especially those who've been working directly with our fellow citizens who've been dealing with the virus, and have been there when their families can't be. I don't have the words to thank you for the work that you're doing. It's very appreciated. And to those who've lost people, I see you. I love you. I'm here for you. I lost my dad right before Katrina. So I know the feeling of loss when you feel like there's no safe space for it because the people around you are also dealing with their own losses. So it feels very lonely. And I want you to know you're not alone in that. And there are people there to help you and to hear you. And I just want there to be a space for that. So guys, I love you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll post next week. Like I said, I'll do lives in the middle, and peace out. Take care. All right. Bye.